This is the Chevrolet Volt. With a name like that, it's got to be electric. What's interesting about it is, normally electric vehicles are sort of kind of golf carts in drag, or they're things that are these aerodynamic flights of fancy that don't look like cars. This thing, not only does it look like a car, it looks like a substantial car. Electric cars don't normally have big wheels. This thing has a large diameter wheel, a really graphic shape. Now, because it's an electric vehicle, these are pretty narrow tires, because the wider the tire, the more drag, and then the car gets slower. So they look cool on the side, but the truth is this is a vehicle that's about efficiency, not just handling. Because, let's face it, it's an electric vehicle. It's a show car, and because it's a show car, it's got to be bold and really new. And what's better than a zipper on the dash for the glove box? Just throw your stuff in there. Haven't quite figured out how you get anything out of it, though. Essentially, the Volt it's a sort of a fantasy from a standpoint of interiors. It uses new materials. It's really a bold statement. I got a feeling white carpeting isn't going to last very long, but that's not what this is about. This is a vehicle that's about the drivetrain. It's an electric vehicle with a battery pack running down the center console. Right now they're talking about using lithium-ion batteries, which are not yet commercialized for cars, but they could be something in that arena soon, because it sounds like GM's got things they're not talking about. There's a 1-liter gasoline engine that's turbocharged that runs on a very narrow band of RPM and load, and they use that to keep the battery topped up. In fact, the analogy is, it's like using your cell phone when you're charging it. It's basically what it's doing. The car will run 40 miles as a pure electric without having to recharge itself. And 40 miles is probably more than anybody reasonably has to do for a commute, unless, of course, you live in Riverside, California, and work in West Los Angeles, in which case you're probably driving a big SUV anyway. There's some things on it that probably won't make the cut, like the plastic windows, because plastic is a lot lighter than glass, but it has a tendency to scratch. They have done something interesting here. It's a window within a window. Designers for years have wanted to have windows with hard breaks in them so they can carry the fender line through, and it's really neat. The rear window reclines or retracts underneath it, so you still have opening windows. Of course, if you want to rest your arm on the side, it's sort of like this. It's like driving an Audi TT. The coolest thing inside, though, is the miracle of plastic transparent steering wheel. Don't know how you put an airbag in that, but it's a concept car, so who cares? The Volt uses an engine to charge the batteries in this case. And this one's got a 1-liter, 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that they run in a narrow engine RPM, as I mentioned, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be an engine like that running just on ethanol. It could be also a diesel for some markets. In fact, if you were really brave, you could use a fuel cell instead of the internal combustion engine to keep the batteries charged, like Ford's doing on the Airstream. So this thing has the ability to flex powertrain, and most importantly, we're talking about something that, while it seems like there's a lot of moonshot stuff in this, it may happen sooner than a lot of people believe.